This is a how-to video on another Google tool. This Google tool is called Google News. You are able to use Google News to um, basically look at any type of news that you are interested in. You can specify your area, your region that you live in, your specific topics that you want to follow. It's basically news that is geared towards you. We'll go to the 3x3 grid for Google Apps, and we will click on Google News. If you want to just run a Google search for Google News, you can do that, but the easiest way to get there is by the 3x3 grid. So this is what shows up on my particular screen. The list down the menu on the left-hand side is where you can go through and make your changes to what you want to follow. Um, you are given headlines automatically along with some weather and other items that could be of interest. Um, first one on the list is a for you. Uh, this will be based off of certain recommended things that you have maybe looked at in other Google sites, like maybe videos you've watched on YouTube or other searches that you've made, whether it's education based or TV shows that you've watched, any kind of searches that you've made. It'll pull things, and that's what it'll base your interests on. Um, you also have the ability to follow certain things, topics and sources. You can pick what you want. So we'll start with the local news because it does give us the ability to manage local news. So we'll click on that, and I'll enter my home zip code to get some options. So my town that I live in popped up first. So we'll look at what's available there. Now it's all, since I've clicked on it, it says that I'm now following it. So now if I go to the following list, it'll have Wasian showing up in that list. If there's other things that you wish to add, you can add more to it. They give you some other cities to pick from. If you want to look at those, you can do those. If you wish to run a search for another city, go right ahead. If there's some place that you like to visit, we'll say Pensacola Beach, Florida. Sounds like a great place to go. So we'll look at Pensacola Beach, and I clicked on it and it added it to my list. If that's someplace that you don't want, you have a little three dots here. Click on more. You can remove it from the library, or you can set it as a primary. Other cities you want to include, you just run a search for them and you're good to go. We'll look at the U.S. list here. This is just your top news throughout the United States. If this is something that you want to follow, all you're going to click is follow, and that topic will be followed. And it'll show up in your following if you choose that. So now I'm following it. I'll go back to my following list, and I have U.S. news. If that's not something I want to listen to or read about, then I'll remove it from my library. World news. You have your option to read whatever's going on around the world. If that's what you want, go ahead and click follow, and it's there. If you enjoy business, technology, entertainment, I like sports, so I'll select the sports and I'll follow it. And then that'll start showing up in my following. So there's sports and world. If there are certain science topics, health topics, anything like that, you can very easily add those. There are some other settings. You can change your language and region for the United States. Other settings that you can include. There are some hidden sources. So if you want to add one of these, then you can add it. I prefer not to listen to CNN, so I will not add that one. Then let's get back to the health area. If you want to go in and put it on your phone, you can have an Android app and an iOS app. Those are items that are there are a few more options within those that you can get to pretty quickly. Otherwise, that is a pretty basic form of how Google News works. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and now you can stay up to date.